Hey everyone, this is a clip from a recent episode of Another Pass, where we talk about movies and all the struggles that go into making them. If you like it, check out the whole podcast. You can find it at certainpov.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, I just keep coming back to like, man, the plot. If the plot wasn't in this movie, I think I would be like so in love with it all, because all of the characters in it are charming and fun, and like when they're interacting with each other, it's so great. And then it's like, oh, well, a cop read your mail, which is a crime, and came to your property without a warrant and searched around and found evidence, which is also not admissible in court. And now he's prompting you to confess to a murder, which any court in actual existence would be like, no, that was clearly self-defense. Even when they're like, oh, well, we poisoned him. It's like, well, yeah, but the circumstance of how you poisoned him were still self-defense. Like, he was actively trying to brand your sister while like holding some kind of weapon to her and like forcing you to drive. Like, yeah, no, they would have found that as self-defense, unless they're like, oh, she's a witch, we have to kill her. Like, that's the only scenario where that doesn't work, which, to be fair, that is the cultural history that their family has gone through.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, but is it?
It's also not even the cop's jurisdiction.
Right. Like, why is he across state lines?
Like, you're just a cop. You're not an FBI agent. And again, this guy is like wanted for murder, right? Like, I believe that's what it is. And so like, it could be, but that's not how they place it. He's just a sheriff. like he's not an FBI agent after a serial killer. He's just a guy who's after a guy who's wanted for murder in a local murder, and he crosses state lines. Honestly, borderline obsession. There's something wrong with this cop. Like, if we're thinking about this logically.
Yeah, like, even if he was granted some kind of permission to pursue the guy, that's the limit of what he's doing. He's not trying to find out who murdered the guy. He's trying to catch a murderer.
Right.
Yeah, and technically, he must be on sabbatical because he's not working with anyone in the area. Like, he's using his personal time to do this. Like, if we are talking, like, pacing this in reality, this man is using his personal time to go to find. This man is obsessed. Okay, he needs mental help. He needs to seek a therapist.
Yeah.
Again, this movie has nothing to do with that. It is super charming, and we love him, and we want him to marry Sandra Bullock at the end.
Right.
Want the curse to be lifted. But honestly, if you think about this as an adult living in a real world, there's something wrong with the cop too, for sure.
But I mean, I also get him being obsessed with Sandra Bullock. That makes a certain degree of sense.
No, but he's more obsessed with the murder first, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you cross state lines to choose.
Is he though? Because he's prompted to come here because of the letter.
Right. Like, the whole thing is that he's like drawn in by like the magic of the letter that she wrote.
Fair
and
enough.
The spell that she cast as a child, which is not a part of the book. That's just the movie. The idea that she created this person who is impossible to exist, right? Like, his favorite shape is a star, so he's a sheriff. He has one blue eye and one green. He can flip pancakes, etc., etc. Which is like very cute. It's like very good set dressing.
It's adorable.
But yeah, definitely when I was reading the book, I was like, oh, well, that's not in there.
Remember, if you like that clip, check out the podcast. You can find it at certainpov.com or wherever you get your podcasts.